The Portland Art Museum's transformation is complete. Their remodel added 100,000 square feet of new or upgraded public and gallery space. I've been, it looks amazing, and I know it's silly, but one of my favorite additions are actually the free lockers for all your stuff. Pam Cudd is also screening movies every Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Witzel, which is awesome. I've missed that venue. And starting on Valentine's Day, the David Hockney exhibit is on view, which I'm so excited to see. If you haven't been to the new and improved Pam, go check it out. It's your art museum. Kids 17 and under are always free, and they're open Tuesday through Sunday. Hit up portlandartmuseum.org for more details. That's portlandartmuseum.org.
Diamore Law Group believes personal injury is about public safety, not just a settlement check. Led by veteran trial attorney Tom Diamore, with over 30 years of experience holding negligent drivers, corporations, and unsafe institutions accountable across Oregon. And clients pay nothing unless they win. If you or someone you love has been seriously injured, call 503-222-6333 or visit diamorelaw.com to schedule a free consultation.
Today on CityCast Portland, we have updates on major stories, including the millions more in unspent dollars found in our city's housing bureau, the return of the Gresham family taken by federal agents to a Texas ICE facility, and the uncertain future of the Blazers and the Moda Center. Joining me on this midweek roundup is our very own executive producer, John Notarianni. It's Wednesday, February 11th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Welcome, everyone, to our midweek roundup. John, thanks for being here.
Well, hello, Claudia.
Today is the day we look at some of the biggest local news that happened over the weekend. But before we get into all that, I need everyone to know our city has named 5 new snowplows. PBOT's held another naming contest, and I can't wait to share the winners because some of them are really good. We have Keep Portland Cleared. We have Mrs. Slippy.
Brilliant.
Damien Blizzard.
Oh.
A sleet car named De-Icer.
Nice. Okay. I see.
One of my personal favorites, Pink Pony Plow. So,
okay. Not quite at the caliber of the rest of them, but I appreciate the reference.
These join, of course, Salt and Thaw, the Big Leplowski, Burnside, Beverly Cleary, and Plowy McPlowface. From my Google searching, Portland has 56 snowplows in total, so I'm not sure if the goal is to eventually name them all, but I'm pretty sure pun-loving Portlanders are ready for that challenge if that is the case. And I mean, CityCast Portland is ready to name one if needed.
I'm just so in love with Beverly Cleary. I think that is unmatched brilliance.
So I have 2 quick updates before John assures us that the Blazers are not moving or breaks it to us that they are. I have no idea what he's dug up. So on our last midweek roundup, we discussed how a Gresham family was taken by federal agents outside Adventist Health in Southeast Portland as they were seeking medical care for their child. They were then sent to the ICE detention facility in Texas without much info given on how long they would be there. I'm happy to say that on Saturday, U.S. Representative Maxine Dexter shared on her social media that the Crespo-Gonzalez family is now home. Dexter actually traveled to the Texas Detention Center on Thursday, demanded to see them, and the very next day, the family was released, and she personally escorted them back to Oregon. We also found out that the Crespo-Gonzalez family has had a pending court date in an asylum case after fleeing political violence in Venezuela. But dig this, their appointment date isn't until 2028.
Ooh.
And listen, politicians tend to only hear from us when we're mad or complaining. Representative Maxine Dexter just did something kind of amazing. She proved that she literally would go to Texas to fight for Oregonians and their rights. So if you feel moved to do so, reach out and just let her know what you think.
Good news.
Yeah,
good
right?
news, Claudia.
I love that I feel like I'm personally responsible for that good news. I'm like, I know I did it. I brought it to us. Also on last Friday's roundup, Julia talked about how an extra unspent $15 million was found in the city's housing bureau. That was on top of the $21 million that were originally found by the Oregonian last November. So on Friday, we were like, wow, that makes it, what, 36 million? That's crazy. How does that much money go unaccounted for, especially when we're still grappling with prolonged homelessness and a housing crisis while our city goes broke, right?
Yeah.
And then bam, later that day, it came out that as much as 106 million unspent dollars were actually found, as reported by our new city administrator, Raymond Lee. We're most definitely going to be looking into that on this Friday's Roundup because our guests will be Oregonian City Hall reporters Shane Dixon Kavanaugh, who helped break the original story. And, even more is going to come out by the time we tape it with them. I don't know. Maybe they'll find $1 billion.
$1 billion. Yeah, this is not finding $20 in your old winter coat pocket. So I feel like as we've sort of been reporting on this incrementally, it's like, okay, 20 million, like that's amazing, but that doesn't change the situation entirely,
Right.
It's gotten to the point where like this is about a third of the annual budget for the Portland Housing Bureau, right? Like their budget was $244 million. So, I mean, this is a transformative amount of money, which good news with like a really big asterisk, like good news, but like, can we not do this, please?
Yeah. I mean, especially after like we just had the most contentious budget negotiations and haggling and all that. And like, if all the bureaus are just sitting on unspent money, like we'd like to know, please.
Between this and PSEF, which we'll talk about more. Yeah, there are hidden pockets of money everywhere in Portland, I guess.
Yeah. Well, John, it's your time to shine because you love basketball and
I do love basketball.
You love basketball and you know a lot more about it. And I know a headline hit and you were just like, whoa, this is a big deal. And so can you tell us what's going on with the Blazers, with the Moda Center?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids, pull up a chair. Let me tell you a story about the Portland Trail Blazers and their home, the Moda Center. So the Portland Trail Blazers are one of the only pro sports teams we have in this city. They're about to have a new owner. A group led by businessman Tom Dundon is working on a deal to buy the team from the Paul Allen estate. It's a $4.25 billion deal. It's expected to be wrapped up and approved by the NBA this spring. But early on in the process, there were whispers that like maybe the deal could lead to the Blazers actually leaving Portland. Well, that whisper has turned into a scream in the last week or two. The Moda Center, it is owned by the city of Portland. It is the oldest unrenovated arena in the NBA. So the Blazers have a short-term deal to play at the Moda Center through 2030. But there's a ton of pressure to build a new Moda Center or to massively renovate it. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver recently suggested that Portland would likely need a new arena in order to keep the team in town. And this is something that it's being widely speculated that maybe Tom Dundon is thinking about taking the Blazers out of the city. Well, how do we make a new arena? It is expensive. So there's now a race to come up with the public funding to get the Moda Center fixed up and just really stabilize the Blazers' future in the city of Portland. It's worth noting, Tom Dundon, he's not expecting to put in any additional private money for this renovation. So it is on us, the taxpayers, to figure out how to make this happen. And there's been a lot of discussions about how this split would be of the cost between the state and the city and the county. And there was a real push that there's going to be a new bill in the legislature this year to try and make this happen. As of this week, Monday morning, no one had seen the bill, and there was a lot of resistance and sort of behind-the-scenes squabbling happening over whether or not this was going to happen. That's when we got a column by Oregon sports columnist Bill Oram, and his name was, quote, "I hope I'm wrong, but this is why I fear the Trailblazers could be as good as gone. Dun, dun, dun."
Yeah, that's what I saw. And I was like, oh, I thought we all agreed we weren't going to lose them. I thought that was the consensus, that we're like, oh, no, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where we were 6 months ago. But Oram sort of stood up and said, I'm really worried about this. There's a lot of political infighting and delays going behind the scenes, and sort of pointed to a pattern that has happened in other cities, namely Seattle, who had an NBA team leave. I think that we've been under the assumption that that's never going to happen in Portland, but he's saying, I'm reading the tea leaves, and this is a major risk. And he sort of put it out as like, not even just like dollars and cents, but a philosophical test of whether Portland is willing to act like a major league city and invest accordingly. And he said, in 10 years, we could be watching a documentary about how Portland lost the team that once made it feel like a major league city. Well, after that column came out from Bill Oram, everybody's head went on fire. Then the Oregon lawmakers formally kicked off efforts to fund these renovations with the introduction of Senate Bill 1501. Now, this is going to be a joint city, state, county funding for about $600 million in renovations. A ton of local leaders lined up behind it, saying that they support it. Governor Kotek, leaders in the legislature, Mayor Wilson, City Council President Jamie Dunphy, Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson. They're all like, we're on board. We are aligned. So this is going to happen. And, this legislation passing is really the thing that the future of renovations to the Moda Center, and by proxy, the future of the Blazers, hinges on right now. So, Claudia, what's in this bill? How's it going to work?
Why would you ask me?
Why would you ask me? Claudia's like, I don't know. Go on. I will say at this point, the details of what is in this legislation that just got introduced are still very scarce. But here's what we've been able to sort of cobble together from previous conversations. This is where we think it is. We're expecting that the state is going to provide about $360 million in bonds towards the $600 million project. The rest of that would come from the city and the county. Portland would be putting in about $125 million, a big chunk of that coming from PSEF, from the Portland Clean Energy Community Benefits Fund, which is really controversial because we've had this ongoing saga for years of people being like, why don't we use PSEF to pay for this? Why don't we use PSEF to pay for that? And a lot of people have voiced skepticism that this goal aligns with the fund's core goal of cutting emissions. One person who's on board with this, Mayor Keith Wilson, he says that the arena is a vital economic and community asset and that it would align with shared climate and equity goals to put this money into funding it. The other question is the county. They're on the hook for probably about $75 million, expected to come from hotel and car rental taxes. That's really similar to what they did for Veterans Memorial Coliseum's upgrades. And there are negotiations ongoing about whether to add about $40 million from sales tax related revenue. And that sort of squabbling at the county level is one thing that does still feel pretty unresolved. But we're going to be watching this really closely. This is going to come together or not come together basically within the next month. This is a short session of the legislature. It needs to be over by the second week of March. So there's a huge push for regional collaboration on our hands. We're going to need to see all the levels of local government working together very quickly with a singular purpose in a way that we do not see very often in this region.
Yeah. For those who are just like, who cares? Because I know there's a lot of people who are just like, sports, schmorts, I don't care. Why do we need a basketball team? Why does this matter? I just need to remind people that professional sports teams often generate over $100 million in annual local revenue. We're just talking little local bars that show the game, outside, not inside the stadium, outside money that gets created when we have a professional sports team. And so it's kind of a big deal, especially for the Rose Quarter. Like John was saying, if we're going to be a real city, we need to be able to support a real professional sports team, or else we're just a little town. And right now we have the Blazers, and of course we have the Timbers and we have the Thorns, but we don't have an MLB team. We don't have an NFL team. We don't have an NHL team. This is kind of it for the big, sports teams. So we do kind of want to keep them.
Yeah. And I mean, and like it or not, if we want to talk about the revitalization of the city, of tax revenue, of making it a vibrant place, this is how modern cities fund themselves, right? Mm-hmm. You have a big thing that a lot of people come to. People come in, spend money. That is the equation to have a vibrant city. Even if you don't want to go to a basketball game, the city does need these kinds of major attractions to be able to thrive in the future.
Right. Well, thank you for breaking that down, John. I did find it kind of funny that the moment this op-ed came out, we heard from the state, we're doing something,
They're like, no, we're doing it. It's coming.
And I was like, wow, that was quick. But I guess we'll keep an eye on that. Fingers crossed. I mean, also an MLB team would be pretty tight. That's all.
I'm just saying, maybe baseball.
Maybe baseball. I don't know. Let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, we're going to dive into our mailbag. Pivot Property Management is a small local commercial property company in downtown Portland that's deeply invested in the future of downtown Portland. They're focused on building community and long-term relationships with their tenants. They're hands-on, responsive, and actually have their main office downtown. So if you're a business owner, nonprofit, or entrepreneur looking for a space downtown, or a building owner who wants local community-minded management, check out Pivot at pivotportland.com. That's pivotportland.com. Let's make downtown what we want it to be. All right, John, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, the first note that we have is from our exports episode that we did recently, where we discussed a number of things that Portland has created that are now household brands beyond our city. And specifically about our conversation about Les Schwab and our dear friend and colleague, Julia, who admitted courageously that she used to pronounce it Les Schwab. Well, we heard from Gray J, who said, Julia, I love your pronunciation of Les Schwab. This needs to become a thing, like the pronouncing of Rainier Ranier, to give it a little bit more of that ooh la la factor. Worth noting, they'll repair any flat or punctured tire for free. I can vouch to that. I had them do that a couple months ago. Whether you bought your tires from them or not, they have exceptional service. Shout out to the awesome employees at the Lombard Les Schwab.
So good. We also got this interesting note from Elizabeth B. She wrote, hello, as an ambivert. I had to look this up because I was like, what's an ambivert? And I guess it's when you're both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introvert, extrovert.
Yeah, I'm so out of the loop. I don't understand. But she wrote, I was waiting on the extroverts to suggest ideas for how CityCast Portland listeners might connect. It was something that I actually brought up with Julia in a roundup. We were just like, it's clear we want to hang out and we want to discuss what's going on in the world. And you guys listening to us is pretty cool, but like we should figure out a way so all the listeners can hang out if they wanted to. And so Elizabeth B came with this. She's like, in any case, I have thoughts. In short, using something like Meetup app to coordinate outings for listeners, a way to develop community in this time of chaos, but also possibly a way for us to check out some of the places and activities recommended on the pod, which is pretty cool. In all transparency, I have attended many meetup groups, but I have never run one. However, I'd be happy to volunteer my time to the cause, provided that at least 3 other listeners also wanted to be involved in setting this up and running it. Legally, logistically, this might not be doable, I suppose, just throwing it out there. I'm in quarantine with COVID, so maybe it's just the COVID talking.
Maybe we gotta wait a couple weeks, Elizabeth.
Yeah. But if you are at all interested in taking Elizabeth B's offer, hit us up at portland@citycast.fm. We will connect you with Elizabeth B. This sounds awesome. I want to go. I want to go hang out. Also, she wrote, this is just also a little note for Julia. I moved to Portland from Maryland almost 4 years ago. During that drive, I got a flat in a snowstorm, which led me to my first experience with Les Schwab. Either I was too distracted to notice the pronunciation or no one at the shop actually said the name, and so I proceeded to pronounce the name like it was French until 6 months ago when I actually heard someone pronounce the name correctly. So, like Julia, I'm just fancy. Just another, this is one for you, just another home smoker, bro. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, you have somehow managed to give great compliments both to me and Julia. Thank you so much.
I asked, and she does have a Traeger. So
nice.
A pellet lady she is.
Yeah, we also had some comments based on the recent episode that we did about Portland transplants, what it's like to be a newbie in town. And we heard from Nisha K, who said, I'm very thankful to hear this episode. I'm a transplant and I've lived in the area for 20 years. And in all that time, I thought my inability to make friends here was a me problem. It took me much longer than your guest, Chris, to figure out that I needed to be more generous and persistent when trying to make friends and to take it very, very slow. It's like trying to win over squirrels or crows. Thank you so much for all you do, Nisha. P.S. All the straight people are in the suburbs. I'm pretty sure of this.
I will not stand for straight people erasure. I know some fine straight people, and they live in the inner. I'm like, John N. he lives in town. That's hilarious. If you want to understand what we're talking about, listen to the transplant show. It was actually really funny. We spoke to 2 transplants about how, they made Portland feel like home. Because I guess, I don't know if you know this, you guys, it's kind of hard for people to come in and try to make friends, especially during the winter. We got another note on the same episode from Damon J. They wrote, as a recent transplant myself, 1.5 years, I just wanted to share my success story of finding my circles here. I can't recommend it enough that people get on their bikes and join a community ride on the Shift calendar. There are routine rides throughout the year for every skill, endurance level, ... For beginners, the Mellow Monday rides are a great place to start. You get to be outside, explore new territory, meet new people. I'm fortunate enough to have made great friends here through these rides, both transplants and natives who I see being lifer friends. Ooh. And then he continues, I'm still captivated by the beautiful culture and community in Portland. It took me 3+ years to make friends. When I moved to Salt Lake City, even then, I never felt at home as I did here. Similar to Chris, I subscribed to CityCast Portland almost immediately upon moving here, and your show really helped me land on my feet and make Portland my home. As cheesy as it sounds, the sealing of 503 Day becoming an official holiday brought tears to my eyes. I thought it was such an endearing event. Anyway, I love this city and I love this show. Thanks for all the hard work you do. Hope to see you and new transplants on bikes.
Oh,
Nice.
That's really sweet. Claudia, we did get one more comment from the transplants episodes from Brian S., who said, just a quick shout out to Chris Carey on the Why Portland Transplants Say We Make Terrible Friends episode for using y'all and machinations in the same sentence. Not to mention, this might be a little bit of a log roll for y'all. Fun episode. Thank you.
I mean, I love those Southern boys. He really came in with some designing women. Like, yeah, affectations. He came through. I loved it. I'm glad my heart was not blessed, though, because we all know that's...
You can't bless the heart of the host.
But you know what I mean? Like, I could have said something.
Poor podcast episode etiquette.
And here's our last note for today. Michael H. This is interesting. He wrote this before we had an Oregon City guide. He just felt it in his bones that we needed to shout out Oregon City. We did a whole neighborhood guide on it, but Michael H. wants to double down that the hardware store, which was also shouted out in the guide, is a favorite local gem. It's a fantastic little speakeasy, cleverly tucked away right below the Hive Social. What truly makes it stand out is its incredible atmosphere. It feels like a real hidden treasure. Not anymore, because we're shouting out about it. He continued, they have an excellent selection of craft cocktails, and the whole vibe is just so cozy and intimate, perfect for a relaxed evening or catching up with friends. It really brings a unique and sophisticated touch to the Oregon City scene, and I always enjoy my visit there.
This is my favorite way to fulfill requests, by getting requests and then immediately being able to be like, yes, we will do an episode on that.
Like it wasn't in the books for months. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're totally planning to do that, Michael. Yeah.
Michael H., you know what they say, great minds. I love that we did have a hive mind moment, though. Where he's like, you guys need to shout this out. And we're just like, we got you, Michael.
Yeah. Michael, you've got great taste. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. Tune in tomorrow for our Valentine's show. We got a special show that we cooked up with some local comedians. And yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys on Friday.
All right. Thanks, Claudia.
Bye. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend or rate and leave us a good review. It really helps us out. And don't forget, you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast neighbor. Just visit membership.citycast.fm for all the details. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you with Slims.